Hi everyone, if you're new here, I'm Dawn. Today I am continuing to work on my art and artist themed journal collection. I'm getting really close to being done. I have all the scraps and ephemera all turned into something, and right now I'm working on packing some ephemera packs. I'll have one to go with each journal, and then I'm going to create some extras that will either go with my journal kits or will be available separately for purchase. So right now I have some kits that I've started to put together with my scraps and my bits. So they have a couple of journal cards that are just collaged. Some of them have plain backgrounds, and some of them came from one of the cut aparts from a 12 by 12. Then I have some coordinating scraps of paper. It's a hand-dyed lined paper, a big scrap strip, a piece of wallpaper, a little ticket, and a scrappy pad. So that's what I have in each of these. And then on the table here, I have a couple of different styles of whale tail tabs. I have a pile of book page ones, a pile of coloring book ones, and then I have a pile of random ones here, and some of these aren't whale tails, some of them are the square. So that's completely random. Then I have some puzzle pieces. I love using puzzle pieces as embellishments or tabs on a page. I have a pile of the diagonal strippy scraps that I'm turned into journaling cards. So they're all backed with some plain cardstock. I did that in a video a couple of days ago, and I went through and I finished them off by inking the edges and adding stickers to them. Then I have some of the cut aparts from a couple of the paper pads I used that have sayings on them, and then some bigger cut apart pieces. Then I have in these two piles, this is the printable that I made from the vintage art magazine. So I printed it out on a couple of different papers. I have like a off-white cardstock. This is a cardstock, a craft cardstock, but it's a thinner cardstock. This is a really thick cardstock. Then I have a white cardstock and a thinner white paper in here, and I've inked most of these, if not all of them. I can't remember if I inked all the craft colored one. And then I have, so these are all about the same size, and then here I have a random mix of, a lot of these are like fussy cut pieces and paint bottles and stuff. And that's what I have on my table, so I'm just grabbing one from each pile here and creating a little goodie bag of scraps. This over here is little tiny pieces from my cut aparts. They were just smaller, so I put them in their own pile. And then I'm just taking one from each pile and slipping it in. I have already made quite a few ephemera packs. I'm making 30 something, 33 I think, journals, so I'm making sure I have a pack to go with each journal, and then I'm making a few spares to go on the side because I'm also making some journal kits, and I'm also gonna offer, if I have extras, I'm gonna offer some ephemera packs just for purchase without an accompanying journal. So these are my little scraps that I have. I've just gathered stuff from around, coloring book pages, scrapbook papers, all the kinds of little things that I love using in my journals, and I'm just popping them into envelopes. I think doing this is a little bit easier than trying to stuff the journal. I don't like trying to ship a journal that's not too flat. I mean, obviously it has a spine, but if it's kind of bulky or kind of gaiters, I worry about shipping it. So I prefer to put everything in a little pack on the side so I can like extra make sure that it ships safely and doesn't get damaged or broken or bent in shipping. So that's why I'm making packs to go with my journals. I'll probably only have a couple of things in the pockets of my journals, even though they have quite a few pockets. And then I'll put these on the side. And that's kind of how I like to put my journals together. So I'm just making sure I get one from every pile and 2 pieces of the puzzle pieces. I ended up getting like a huge load of somebody's, like I have a lot of relatives that enjoy puzzles and they pass them around to each other, but then, you know, eventually pieces get lost. So when they lose pieces and they can't make the puzzles anymore, I'm like, I'll take them. And then I use them for crafting stuff. Because it's a lot of fun different colors that you can use. And I like doing it. I like using them as tabs. You can glue them on. You can, sometimes you can staple them on. You can even peel the layers apart of this. Like if you're careful, you can peel off the top layer and then you can use that for something like a piece of a collage, and that's really fun. So I think that there's a lot of things you can do with stuff you wouldn't normally consider as an art supply, and that's kind of my favorite part of junk journaling. So it's just going to be a little bit of a chatty video and talking about my journals, talking about my ephemera pieces. So I hope you enjoy kind of watching me pack and listening to me talk. I have been working on these journals for feels like eternity, and I am so ready to be done and start on my next project. I haven't decided what my next project will be. I'm kind of using these like themed journals as a way to clean out some of my stash, my supplies. I have a lot of stuff kind of everywhere, and I'm just ready to be clean with it. But I get distracted. I have 2 kids. I'll start a cleaning project. I'll start an organizing project, and then I'll get distracted and I won't be able to go back. And I ran out of one pile over here, so I'm just gonna grab 2 from some of these piles. So I'm gonna mix it up every time, but I'm gonna make sure that each one has the same number of stuff, even though I ran out of the little pieces. So yeah, I've been trying to clean, I've been trying to organize and figure out what stuff I want to keep and what stuff I want to use and what stuff I want to maybe pass on to somebody who can use it faster or sooner than I can. So for these journals, I had some 1970s art magazines. They were like American artist magazines, and I used a couple of those as my main pages. I used the advertisements to make a digital. I used the cool like these pencils, the original image. I used that to make a bunch, like for example, I used the pencils to make a journal cover centerpiece. So I'm trying to use stuff up, and I'm kind of taking my inspiration for my themes from just stuff I already have around. I'm trying really hard not to buy anything else right now, which is hard because then, you know, we're headed into Christmas, and I love Christmas craft supplies, but I just don't need more. I have plenty, but it is hard. I don't know if you love Christmas craft supplies, but you know, if you see it, it's really hard to not give in to temptation, because the Christmas craft supplies are really cute, especially this year. Like, I just went to Michael's the other day because I had a coupon and I had a rewards that was expiring, and I was just going to get some glue, but then I saw they had their Christmas craft stuff out, so then of course I ended up buying a paper pad. But I am proud of myself because the paper pad I bought, it was ballet and like nutcracker themed, and I'm actually going next month to go see my first time going to see a ballet, and it's Sleeping Beauty. So I thought it was really cool to have like the Christmassy ballet themed one, and I'll probably use it for personal journaling and for like a personal project because it's actually really fits, and I was able to use up my rewards from Michael's, so that won't expire. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you have a Michael's or if you've seen what Michael's has out this year, but their Christmas stuff is out. I just did a shop with me video, so check that out if you haven't seen it, or tell me if you've been to Michael's and you've seen their Christmas stuff. Let me know what you think. What are you grabbing from Michael's for Christmas this year? Do you love Christmas crafting? Just yeah, what are your thoughts on resisting the Christmas crafting bug? And I'm trying really hard not to buy more, not to spend too much, and just focus on using what I have. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm at my last 2 envelopes, and I don't have very many pieces left. So I'm gonna grab 3 from this pile. That's what happens. I always get down to the end and I run out of pieces, and we all know I don't count. I'm gonna grab a cool one. So I get to the end and I have not as much. Okay, so I have 2 extra pieces. So I'm just gonna slip them into these because they didn't have the pieces from my printable kit. And that's that. And I now have this giant bin of ephemera kits to go with my journals. I can show off while I'm here one of my 6x6. I haven't put the centerpieces on the journals yet, so I'm gonna make sure it's not upside down. But I haven't put the centerpieces on, but the 6x6 ones are bound. They have, see, they have the wallpaper front, then they have an art themed inside with something like the books and the paint tubes, hand-dyed paper, an art drawing book, sewing patterns. There's ruffles sewn on some edges, hand-dyed paper. This is from a Van Gogh book. Sorry, I couldn't remember. Van Gogh book. And then there's pencils, crafting books, hand-dyed papers, coloring books. So I just pulled from different artist themed or different kinds of art themed paper pads, art books with drawings, with craft ideas, sewing. So every journal is obviously a little bit different, but I pulled from all the same kinds of books, and they all have some ruffles or some lace in them. So these are the 6x6. That's just an example of what they look like, and then they'll all come with an envelope full of goodies. So I am super close to finishing them up. I do have all the pieces done. I have to finish binding the 9x6 journals, the full-size ones, and I have to finish binding. I'm also doing a couple of altered Reader's Digest books, so I have a couple of these. The pages are ready, even the signatures are ready. I just have to strip the book and fix up the spine. So I'm really close to being done, but they're so pretty and they're so ruffly. I finished making all the ephemera. I finished up with all my scraps. I just have to finish binding, and I have my journal like front cover pieces all done and ready to glue down. So I just have to bind the journals, attach the front pieces, and put whatever I'm going to put in the pockets of the journals in. I have some bookmarks I've made. I have some embellishments I've set to the side. I have some book pages. So I just have to finish that, and then they'll pretty much be done. And then I can decide what kind of project I want to do next. So thank you for joining me in chatting and making these bundles. If you have any questions about my journals, let me know. If you have any ideas for what I could do as a theme next, I'm open to ideas. I'm trying not to make too many Christmas journals this year because I know I'll get busy and then they won't be done in time, and then I'll just have a lot of them. But if you have a more generic idea, less like holiday specific, let me know, and I'd love to hear it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.